Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy. I am Doug and I'm happy you're here, so let's get started. So in the last episode we descended through the Cavern of Earth and fought the Vampire Lord who was poisoning the town of Melmond. After defeating him we received the Star Ruby and now it's time for us to continue on our journey. So, we aren't done with the Cavern of Earth. There's actually 2 more floors to go through, but unfortunately we can't go any further until we get a magical rod from a certain sage. Now in order to get to the sage we're going to have to do something with that ruby that we received. And in order to do that, we're gonna have to head to this cave here. So yep, more getting and delivering. And we are breezing right along. Oops, forgot to start my watch. Anyways, hope all's going good, and yeah, hope all's going good. So in the last episode we found this cave accidentally, and I said that we needed to beat the vampire in order to continue forward. So we're going to be giving this ruby to this big stone giant over here. Let's see, what voice do I want to give this guy? You have Star Ruby? Give me Star Ruby and I let you pass. Crunch, munch. Nothing tastier than rubies. Now that the giant's gone, we can head up north here. That staircase will lead to the other side of the mountain, but first there is some chests that we need to grab. And there's some ogres in here. I forgot that there were actually things that we could fight in here. I thought this was one of those safe zones. Oh well. Sorry if I sound a little phlegmy. I'm feeling a little congested all of a sudden. So yep, in this room down here there's a great axe, 620 gil, 450 gil, and a mithril helm, which will be very useful for the thing that we have coming up next. So hopefully by the end of this episode or the next one, we'll be going after one of the elemental fiends. There are 4 of them corresponding to each of the 4 crystals. I think I might have mentioned it earlier in an episode, or the game mentioned it, I think, in the like opening crawl. But if not, that's what it is. We are going after the elemental fiends who are responsible for the corruption of the elemental crystals, and that's why the world's all out of balance and out of whack. Which, like, you get bits and pieces of it by talking to, like, the NPCs in town and stuff, but it's not as, like, upfront and in your face as, like, other Final Fantasies are with their story. Like, I probably mentioned this before, but, like, I like how Final Fantasy 1 kind of keeps it all in the background. Like, don't get me wrong, I do love the more upfront and cinematic storytelling of Final Fantasies, you know, like 4, 6, 10 stuff, but I really do appreciate just like the little world building that this game does by just having you talk to like the NPCs, and that fleshes out like the story and you see just kind of the whole feel of it. So this is a cave we have to go to now because not only is getting the Star Ruby important to get rid of the giant blocking our way, but it'll also give us passage to the sage's cave, and this sprightly little fellow here, Sada. I don't know what I want him to sound like. So, you're the ones who defeated the vampire, eh? But he was only a servant. The beast corrupting the earth crystal lurks further, deeper in the cavern. Here, take this staff with you and use it behind the vampire's chamber. And we got the earth rod, which will unlock the door, behind the vampire. So yeah. If you are like watching this back to back, you realize that basically we just left the Earth Cave and now we have to go immediately back. And if you saw the last video, you realize how long it takes to get to the 3rd floor, and we still have more floors after that. So I will, after this fight, be skipping right on over to the 3rd floor to save you guys some time, because the last episode ran way too long and I do feel a little bad about that. So, in just a second, you'll be seeing me at the Earth Shrine. Boom! Movie magic, editing, hooray, we're back where we left off. The unfortunate thing about this dungeon in this game is that there's no easy way in and out, so I had to initially, after fighting the vampire, walk back outside the dungeon, visit the giant and the sage, and I had to walk all the way back. This game was made 30 years ago. I don't think people nowadays would be able to put up with all that walking, especially in a game like this. But anyways, we are back, and now we are going to be descending to the 4th floor. Now, if you were playing yourself and try to do this after you beat the vampire initially, you would be met with this stone tablet. But since we've got the earth rod, it turns into stairs. And now we are on the 4th floor. So, notable items on 4th floor. Yeah, I think I said that right. Floor 4. Bit of a tongue twister. There are going to be 2 rooms, one in the north, one in the south. In the northern room is going to be a staff, 3,400 gil, 5,450 gil, 1,520 gil, and 1,455 gil. Or 1,000, crap, 1455 gil, basically. I have problems sometimes with numbers. I'm an acting major. Sue me if that upsets you. Anyways, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of gil. The staff and the chest with 3,400 gil is going to be guarded by an ogre major, and the other 3 chests are gonna be guarded by Sphinx, and Sid got turned to stone. That's not cool. So, last episode I mentioned golden needles. They can cure the stone status. Stone basically renders you completely inoperable, and you're as good as dead in a fight. But, like I said, a gold needle will cure that, and you can get right back to it. But the cockatrice is one of several enemies that can turn characters to stone, and gold needles do run, I think, around 1,000 gil. So it's something to be aware of when you're fighting them. Just, you know, be on the lookout and everything. And, ooh, an ogre mage. That's cool. Haven't fought one of those yet. Or one of these hyenodons. Awesome. Yeah, most of the enemies in this game are like palette swaps and stuff, and while it can like be a little like, oh, they didn't put any effort into this game, I think it's really cool to see the palette swaps, and it's like seeing the progression. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like, you know, with Pokemon, how like you can see the evolution of them over time. I like seeing the palette swaps, even if they are just, you know, palette swaps. The same thing with different colors. It looks cool seeing the comparison and everything. So yeah, with the exception of the cockatrices, I'm not too scared of anything else. I think the Sphinx is also capable of turning us to stone, and I only have two. Oop, crap. I always forget about that. Sometimes I have to. What's the word? Open the chests and stuff. Sorry, I have a hard time sometimes when it comes to like focusing on what's happening on the screen and when I'm trying to finish my sentence, and it's like 1 a.m. right now, because this is the only time I can get to record, so I am a little tired. So sorry if I seem groggy and, you know, not all here, but I'm gonna do my best. So yeah, something you might notice is that it's actually very, we're getting a decent amount of gil from this dungeon. Not only just from the chest, but also from fighting enemies, and this kind of contributes to like that thing I'm always saying about how grinding is really important in Final Fantasy, because it helps you get really good things like that armor that we saw back up in Melmond, which is like 30,000 gil. Really expensive, but it's a lot easier to get a hold of now because of all the fighting and all the chests that we get. Like, some of the guides that I read don't recommend going after the chests with gil, just because, admittedly, if you're trying to beat the game quickly, they're not really worth it. But these chests, in my opinion, are worth your time, and like I said, XP and gil from fighting just makes it all worthwhile. And honestly, the main draw of Final Fantasy, I think for the longest time, was the combat, and it wasn't until, you know, I think 4 that they really started to take the story a little more seriously and stuff. And honestly, the main draw of the first game, at least, was the combat, as you guys know. And it gets a little repetitive. I mean, I'm sure you're aware of that. I mean, like 9, 7, 8 episodes in, it's like I can only talk so much about how cool the combat is and how good grinding is, because no one likes grinding, really. With, like, a few exceptions. Like, there is this nice satisfaction of, when you get that level up. But after a little while, it does kind of tire you out. And I think this is the point when the game really does kind of pick up. We get to visit some really cool locales after this. Like, for the most part, it's only been dungeon, castle, more dungeons or caves. But we get to start visiting some really cool places with some really awesome music. And I mean, I like the music in this place too. But I think like a lot of the charm of the game really does start to open up after this portion of the game. Oh, this isn't good. Paralysis does wear off after a little while, but so I'm going. Sorry, I'm sure I had something I was saying, but yeah, sorry, this is like one of the few fights I'm actually I'm not so much nervous about how it's going to go, but I have to actually, turn autopilot off, so this is cool. See, I seem to have lost my sense of direction. Okay. Yep, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but the 2, chest rooms are going to be a bit out of your way, so be aware of that. If you decide to go to the chests in your own playthrough, if that's what you're doing, because the farther out you go, the more combat encounters you're going to get, and that will take up more of your time. And we got more level ups, hooray! Oh boy, I'm a little lost. And I ran by the entrance right there. Yeah, sorry. I really do feel like I'm out of it tonight, and want to apologize for that. So yeah, I guess other things that have been happening. I started training for a triathlon. That's fun. I I've loved running my whole life, and like riding a bike, and swimming has always been like something I've had a real trouble with. So I'm actually really excited to hopefully become a better swimmer, because if not drown and stuff, but I'm actually really excited about it. It's really nice going out and exercising, and it's something not everyone can do, and I'm really lucky that I have the time to go out and exercise, especially like training for like any kind of race like that requires like a huge dedication of time and effort, and like not knocking anyone who can't go out and do that, but I'm very happy I'm able to do that. It's because even when it's like a day I have off from work or something, it feels good just doing that. Like, you just get that satisfaction of, hey, I did something today. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about that, and, even if nothing comes of it, like, I'm just gonna be happy that I started training again for something, because, just having that goal it really helps you just, get through the day, through like the boring and drab parts of it, because like I'm out of college for the summer now, and like last summer I got into this kind of slump of just waiting for school to start again. Like, the months just kind of blurred together. I didn't have anything going on, wasn't doing anything important outside of work, and that's why I picked up doing this Let's Play, and it's why I'm training for a triathlon, because I want to feel like I'm doing something, and I want to have fun with it. And even if I do sound kind of sick some days and bored the others, I really am having fun with this. And I hope you're having fun too. And sorry I'm getting a little lost. This map is a little bit confusing, and I'm looking it up on my phone, so it's not the best picture in the world. Alright, everyone's looking alright on health, but I still want to make sure we're all topped off. This is the last floor. This is the last floor with an L. The last floor with any treasure of any kind. The 5th floor is just going to be the boss exclusively, so I just want to pick up everything, and things will start going a lot faster once we get the treasure and get to the next floor. Ooh, crosshair. I wonder what that does. Alright, we are going to sort everything. Where are you, crosshair? A staff tipped off with an iron ring. Oh yeah, we could get one of those in Melmond. I have realized just now, actually, that I haven't sold any of my old gear. So, I think after this part, when we get back to Melmond, I will... Melmond. That's how you pronounce it, I think. Once we get back to Melmond, I think I'm going to sell that and just get some more supplies and stuff, because I realize I don't have like any ethers, barely have any potions or tents or anything. And okay, yeah, stone is something that does last outside of combat. So like in my first playthrough I was really lucky and never got stoned, so I didn't have to worry about that. Although I guess getting stoned wouldn't be a bad thing. Yeah, get it stoned. Okay, yeah, I forgot this is a PG game, I think. Anyways, so, in the south room, which is where we are now, there is a mithril shield, 1,520 gil, and a tent. All of them will be guarded by a group of enemies with an ogre mage guaranteed. So, here's the tent. Here's the second set of enemies. And like I said, these are enemy tiles, so every time you step on one of these tiles, you will always fight an enemy, guaranteed, which is really useful for grinding or gil hunting. I really like Monty a lot. The monk class is one I didn't think I would like a whole lot, but there's just something really satisfying about the sound of the character punching stuff. The boom, 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 kind of like a heartbeat or something. It's a lot of fun, and it's one of the things I'm really enjoying about this Let's Play. Because like my last playthrough, I had the rogue as like my secondary like physical hitter, so he was like basically just kind of like Sid the warrior, but with a green bandana, basically. So like the novelty of a guy hitting all the enemies is a lot of fun, and he hits really hard too. And I don't know, it's the little things in life and games that make it all worthwhile. And that's it for the treasure. Hooray! We are celebrated by this troll who looks like he's having a headache, I think. The trolls in this game really look kind of terrifying. Although it's funny because like they have like all of like the, you know, like big fantasy monster guys. Like they have giants, they have trolls, they have ogres in this game. Like it's not just like one big monster fits all, it's like all of them. And I think they're from like different mythologies, if I'm not mistaken. I'll try to look that up, but it's one of the cool things about Final Fantasy is like it has just like a breadth of like magical and fantastical creatures and stuff. Like the crazy thing about Final Fantasy is like it's such an old franchise. Like this is a remake of a game that came out on the SNES like 30, I think almost 40 years ago. And like it's had like so many sequels and spin-offs that like when you say Final Fantasy, it could mean any number of different games. It's like it's one of the cool things about like this franchise that like it's been around for so long. Like it's been a part of so many different people's lives that it's just like it's fascinating to me, and I'm very fortunate that I get the chance to not only play this game but also share my experience with that. So thank you for tuning in for this part. Not to say that we're cutting it short now, I'm feeling thankful. And you know, it's always good to thank people when you're feeling thankful. So thank you, whoever you are. So yeah, we are on the 5th floor of the dungeon, and there is nothing of any value on this dungeon besides the boss. No treasure rooms for me to get lost trying to find. No hallways of enemies that I am going to fight on screen and eat up half an episode. Just a boss that will hopefully be a fair challenge. I'm going to heal up and use my supplies right outside the boss's room, which should be down this hall. And after that, we'll be able to fight the boss. And the good news about the boss is that after you beat him, he actually does have a like escape tile that will get us out of the dungeon after we beat him, so we don't have to walk all the way up again like last time. So anyways, let's use our items, and we're going to make sure we are golden. And oh crap, I don't have any ethers, so we're going in with literally... Alright, I'm going to use some of my potions, just make sure. Boop, boop. Alright, so we're going in with what we got. A little ramshackle, but I think this will make things interesting. Sid has a lot of defense, even if he doesn't have all of his HP. I mean, he has just about the same HP as everybody else, even when he's lost a lot. And I think we're going in a little over-leveled, so I think everything's going to be okay. But here's the first crystal, and the first boss. Who speaks to me? I am he who feeds on the power of Earth. I will not be disturbed by mortal men. I am the Lich, Fiend of Earth. And we are fighting up against Lich, the Lich pin of the Elemental Fiend's plans here in Melmund. Get it? Lich pin? Okay, Lich has 1,200 HP, highest of anything that we fought at this point. He has 40 attack, 49 accuracy, 40 defense, 12 agility, 30 intelligence, 24 evasion, 120 magic defense. Upon defeat, he will drop 30 gil, and he will give 2,200 XP, and there's a chance of a dry ether being dropped upon defeat. Now, Lich is considered undead, so he will take extra damage from fire and from the Dia spells. So he can hit pretty decently, and he can take more than a few hits. So, let's see. Yeah, and he has some crazy good magic too, so... Ooh, this is going to be a little harder than I thought. I'm going to be casting Haste on our two physical attackers, and I'm going to be using Healra just to hopefully soak up some damage. Oh god, that's not good. Come on, miss. Oh crap, come on, Sid. Whew, so this fight might be a little more tense than I thought. Okay, I don't have anything to wake anybody up. Except... Nope, I can't target. In later Final Fantasies, you can actually wake up characters by hitting them. Unfortunately, we cannot do that, so I don't want to waste too much of my NP, so I'm just going to cast a Daira and hope for the best. I'm hoping that Monty will be able to wake up soonish, but Lich is going to be a lot harder than I thought. Awesome, Monty is now awake, and I'm going to hope that he can cast Haste on Sid and, Walt. Gosh, I'm hoping Walt can get off a haste before things get too bad. And I'm just going to attack again. I really want to save my MP because I don't know how bad things are going to get. Those attacks are hitting hard. Okay, that's not good. Alright, so the haste is at least going to give me some extra attacks. And I can hopefully get out of the 100s and hopefully deal a little more than that. Okay, so I got approximately 4 more heal res left. I'm actually... This is the closest this, yes! I was gonna say this is the closest any fight has been, and I thought it was gonna go on for a little longer, but maybe my stats are wrong, or maybe my math is a little off, but I thought he had a lot more HP left. So we got 550 XP, 3,000 gil, and my notes are wrong again. But hooray, because we won! And I'm not gonna lie, I was actually kind of scared about that. But we did it. We beat Lich, and we've restored the light to the Earth Crystal. And everyone's doing their little dance, and something's happening at the Earth Gift Shrine. Huh? What's going on? I don't know. Actually, I do, because I've played this game before, and this game has been out for years. So, the Earth Gift Shrine, that little thing we saw, fun, little bonus dungeon that was added into this remake and is available in all the remakes that came after Final Fantasy Birth of Souls, which is this edition. It's a bonus dungeon featuring enemies at a much higher level and a map design that is somewhat random. I'll go into more detail about it in a bonus episode, but it's not something to be challenged immediately after. This is more of a post-game, end-game kind of dungeon. So it's something that we'll see a little bit more of later, but not at this point. And if I'm being a little vague, it's because the details is really time-consuming, and I've taken enough of your time. So, thank you all for tuning in. We met a rock giant, talked to an old sage, got the tools to go deeper into the Cavern of Earth, and we fought the first of the elemental fiends and had a little bit of a close call, but everything worked out in the end. So, thank you for tuning in. I am Doug, and I'm happy you're here. Have a good night.